Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. I'm Lisa. If you're new, welcome. I am so happy you found us. Today is our art video. Battery. Sorry about that. As soon as I started, it started flashing. Change me. But anyway, today is our art video. Normally with this video, we have a 2-day vloggy type video. But I did start filming this. And then I lost the footage. I don't know what happened to it. And Friday, my husband had a lumbar puncture. We were in the hospital all day long. Yesterday, I had a migraine, so I'm starting fresh today. But I will get it edited and up to you tonight. And what we're doing is we are comparing the paint I paint with all the time as an artist. I use the paint from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, just the craft paint. And we're going to compare this to the more expensive golden acrylic paint. And I'll talk about some differences, some products that aren't available with this or as companions to this. But anyway, we'll get into this. So that's going to be our video. We're also going to talk about cheap versus expensive brushes. And now the brushes, there is a difference, but let me state first, brushes are always, and paint and anything is always personal preference, okay? I'm just doing this comparison because if some of you are wondering and you don't want to invest in something that you may not like, you don't know anything about it. That's why I'm doing this video. I personally like my my paint that I paint with all the time, and I don't plan on really changing. But there are some things I've realized that the more expensive paints can do. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into all that, if you missed it at the end of my last video, I bought an Arteza advent calendar that's full of art supplies. I'm so excited. It's still not here yet. It's supposed to be here the 14th now. That's fine. We're just going to get into it. As soon as it gets here, I will start a video, get it out to you guys. I am super excited about that. I had never had an advent calendar before. They're just too expensive. And this one was 70% off. So I'm like pumped and can't wait. I hope it's not a big disappointment. Anyway, before we start our comparisons, I did want to share a few more items that I got on sale. First off are these colored pencils. They're not watercolor pencils. They're just colored pencils. That means they do not smudge and you can't use a water paintbrush on them, okay? These are just plain old, what we used to call map colors. The only difference is they are the Faber-Castell. Now, if you've seen me in my videos, you know I own the gelatos and some brush pens from them, and I love them. I wouldn't have bought these except they were way, way, way discounted, and I wanted to try them. So we will swatch these at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. I also got these temper paint sticks, and this is the same brand, basically the paint right here, only I got it in paint sticks. And this is temper paint, which is normally used for posters, but you know what? You can create, and that's kind of the whole point of this video, you can create with whatever you want. I like this because I thought if I'm out doing some plein air painting, I like this. It's a little tub, easy to carry, and it comes with a ton of colors. Can't go wrong. So we will swatch both of these at the end of the video. I'm going to pull some paints together, and I'm going to get some brushes together, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, before we get started with the testing if they're the same, I thought I'd talk about what I have here. These bigger ones are Golden's slow drying acrylics. They're a heavy body acrylic. They're thicker. Okay, and that's all of these. These are thin acrylic paints, and these can be like in a spray gun. They're very thin. They're almost like a wash. And we're going to compare the thicker ones with our paint here. And I'm going to compare yellow with yellow. In these right here, there is not a match in my cheaper paints. So what you would do with these thinner ones, what you could do is put a layer down on a canvas, let it dry, then come back with another color. Say first you put a pink layer down on a canvas, you let it dry completely, then the next day you come back and you put a gold layer down on the canvas, let it dry completely, and the next day, the third day, you come back, say with a heavy body acrylic, you paint it, and then with your paintbrush, you draw in, say you're making a pear, you draw in the outline of the pear, you draw in the leaf, and then you take a rag, because this is slow drying, and you wipe it off, and you'll just have a little blue, but you'll see the gold and the pink coming through. So these are washes that you can layer this heavier acrylic on top of and build it up. And I will do a demonstration of that in a different video. So in my inexpensive cheap paints, there is not an equivalent to this, which does make this a little intriguing, because it's a technique that I can't use using these versus if I paid the money and bought these. So that's the first thing. So now we're going to compare thickness and how they brush on the paper, and then we already know that the golden paints are slow drying. We're going to compare how slow drying they are to my paints, which are all different kinds. I have Americana, I have Craft Smart, which is Michael's brand. I probably have some Apple paints in there somewhere. So they're all different brands. And I think we're just going to compare one, and I'm just going to do the yellow because it's right here. So I'm going to start with the thick apple, I'm going to start with the thick golden brand of yellow. I brush all in closer, but let me get a second paintbrush. And just for the record, both of the paintbrushes I'm using are cheap. They both came in the wooden kits you bought a long time ago. I've had them forever. Alright, so this brush is going to be for that, and the black brush is going to be for the golden, just so we can keep everything straight. I dipped it in, and as you can see, it's not dripping off my brush. So it's really thick. The brush is holding onto the paint. And by the way, this is mixed media paper, so I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to make sure I get it all off my brush. Okay, so there is the inexpensive. Now I'm going to get the golden. And I just put it on my paintbrush. That's the golden paint. And I'm going to turn it over. And as you can see, it's not dripping. It's staying on my brush. It's not falling off. So it's also very thick. Now I'm just going to spread it. The color's a little different too, so don't mind the color. Now I do find it didn't go as far. Maybe I didn't get as much on my brush. Okay, so this is the expensive golden. Neither one dripped off the brush, and this is the inexpensive craft paint. It is thinner on the paper. It would definitely take 2 coats with the thinner craft paint. Now this one is matte. Let me see if the yellow is matte. And matte versus satin or glossy just means it won't have a shine to it when it dries. This is matte. Okay, so they're both matte, so that's good. So once they're dry, you won't see that glossy finish. But see how we're kind of seeing the paper through here? And we're not over here. Whoops. So the matte, so the golden might get a little better coverage than the inexpensive. Okay. But they both held on. Neither one of them dripped off a brush or had any issues. And honestly, I can see brush strokes in both of those. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's the expensive golden, and you can see brush strokes. But if you come over to the more inexpensive, you can also see brush strokes in it, which is nice. Now, let's see what one tube of this, and let's see how much it is. Okay, it's 1 fluid ounce. And this one is 2 fluid ounces. So 1 fluid ounce versus 2 fluid ounces. This one was $1.49 from Michael's. And if you watch the sales, you can get it even cheaper than that. And let's see. And that, again, is 2 fluid ounces, so $1.49. And then you got golden, heavy body, which is what that is. Same store, Michael's. Oh, nope, not the same though. Okay, same store, Michael's. 2 fluid ounces. So a little bigger than this one is $13.99. So this was $1.49, and this would be $13.99. And again, let's go back and look. Even if I have to paint over, I get really good coverage with the craft paint. And the thing is, you can always mix mediums in with this paint. It doesn't have to be the expensive paint. And what are mediums? Well, mediums are things like modeling paste. They're like heavy gel matte. This will make it really thick. Any acrylic paint, really thick. And you will see more brush strokes. It'll make it almost look like oil painting. You can mix in clear tar gel, and this will make it like stringy if something needs like a line or string design. So just because these say golden, there's also Liquitex of these. These will mix with any paint. It doesn't have to be the more costly paints. And especially if you're somebody like me that can't get by on, say, these 4 colors or 5 colors, because I don't mix my colors. I have every color under the sun and then some. So when I'm looking at paint, I'm not only looking at quality. When I'm looking at my paint, I think about quality. I think about texture. I want a thick paint, even if it takes it a long time to dry. If I want a thinner paint, I can add something in, like I can add something in to thin it, okay? I like working with the crafting paint. $1.49, even if I had to buy 2 bottles to get the same coverage as 1 tube, that's still under $3 versus $14 after tax. I find the quality of the cheap paints or the inexpensive paints is great, and it works for my budget, and it's shown to be successful for me because I've had multiple pieces shown in galleries across the country. I've had people commission art pieces with me. So I don't see a benefit with these, with the heavy body acrylics. Now, like I was saying before, these thinner ones, there's not an equivalent in the cheaper brand. And I like these. Let's see how much one of these is, because I don't even know, because I got a whole little starter kit here. And I like too, like, there is a pink, there is a blue, there is a gold. I mean, there are colors in golden too, but I mean, it's expensive. So, fluorescent pink or rose fluorescent. Okay, let's see what this is called. High flow acrylics. So, this is your high flow acrylics. It's way more loose than your thick ones. It's going to dry faster. You're not going to have the brush strokes in it. Let's see how much a tube of this is. High flow golden acrylic. Well, they're expensive too, so I guess if I'm saving money on one, paying a little bit more on another one isn't going to hurt. They come like this. They come with a stopper or a squeeze top on them. $9, basically $8.49 at Michael's. So, if I'm happy with my regular craft paint, it's doing a good job, but I want to do more layering, and I need the thinner high velocity, and I need the thinner high flow acrylics. I might be willing to spend on these and this versus these and this, if that makes sense. But if you want to spend on, if it's in your budget and you want these, get them. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you either way. I just wanted to show you that at the end of the day, you can see brush marks. Oh, sorry, can't talk. You can see brush strokes in both. Again, they've had a little more time to dry. See the strokes? And in this one, you can see the strokes too. I think this one is more matte than this one. This one is still wet though. Remember, this is a long time to dry. This one's dry, but you can see the brush strokes in it. So it's up to you. Do you want a paint that you can manipulate for a long time? Then you might really love these very heavyweight acrylics. Me, I don't want to manipulate it too much, but if I do, I want these high flow acrylics. So I'm kind of split. For my normal acrylic day-to-day use, I'm sticking with my inexpensive. When I want to do layering on top of layering, I will use the high flow acrylics. And I will show you an example of that in our next art video. Now, again, brushes. When I was painting with these, I still don't know if y'all can see, but there are little paintbrush hairs. But there are little paintbrush hairs sticking out, and this is loose. But I love cheap brushes, okay? I like them because if I forget to wash them, I can just throw them away and I have a pack of more. Expensive brushes, I'm going to be a nervous wreck. What if I forget to wash them? Expensive brushes are softer. They're more refined. Think of like a soft sweater, okay? An expensive soft sweater. That's how your expensive brushes are. They're very soft. I like a hard brush. I like something that's got hard bristles that will grip and I can get in there and just mash and mash. So I like cheap brushes. An example of cheap brushes are these. I just paid $7.99 and got all these brushes. I love it. And I got this off Amazon. And I totally love it. I got this golden kit, starter kit off Amazon too. I'll link that below if anybody's interested in doing your own comparisons. And I'll link these below too, because and the reason I like these is because they have little ones and then medium ones. And I bought a whole thing of the same brand, only 1-inch brushes, which aren't much bigger than these. I'm not a big brush person. I like small brushes. I have small hands. And next time I will show you the layering effects that you can do with this high flow acrylics. And I'll film the process. Like I said, it takes days to complete it. So I will film it over days for our next art video on Wednesday, and you can see. Let's see. Let's swatch our new colored pencils and our new temper paint sticks. And then I'm going to go wash my brushes. But guys, really, I mean, I have not, the only thing I like, how do I say this? I like the inexpensive paint. I like that I can get any color under the sun. I like if I want to make it thicker, I can. I can add my modeling paste. I can add a matte, heavy-duty matte medium. And it'll be just like oil paints. But you can't do the layering effect with them. That's why I like the high flow acrylics. So, yeah. Now this is my mixed media paper. I don't know if I said that. That big pad I got when I did my, oh, it's right here. This is the big mixed media pad. I wouldn't buy this pad again. The paper is fine, but it's gray. And I don't really like a gray paper. I would like a white paper. And this is quite gray, to be honest. But it's so large that I'm going to use it all. And then I'll get more paper. Because that's how I am. That's how I am. Oh, you got to come back, though, so I can swatch, right? Let's open these. Maybe I'll swatch off camera and I'll just put it at the end of the video for you guys. How about that? That way you don't have to sit here and watch me ooh and all in color. But, ooh, these are pretty. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Nope, that's it. Okay. Oh, look all the colors. Look how pretty. Again, these are just colored pencils. These are not watercolors. You can't smudge them. You can't use water on them. And then these are the... And again, these are paint sticks. They look like glue sticks. And there's the paint. How cool. Oh, these are going to be fun. I can already tell. Okay, guys, I will swatch these off camera and you will see the results at the end. That's exciting. Not gonna lie, that's exciting. These have dried 100% and I wanted to show you that you can see the brush strokes in the less expensive paint, but it is thin and I would put another coat. Whereas over here, this is the golden thicker paint. It doesn't need another coat. And look how pretty those brush strokes are if you want to see brush strokes. So definitely it's a 1-coat coverage with the golden heavy body, thick body acrylic. And you can see the brush marks. Where in the more inexpensive paint, You can see the brush marks, but you're going to have to put another coat, and it just doesn't have the same richness. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and that little bell. We are so desperately trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, December 31st. Today is December 10th, so we only have 21 days left. And today's already almost over. So if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to see a comparison about my thoughts on different cheap papers, comment down below cheap papers. I will see you on Tuesday. We have 2 Christmas journals, super simple but great ideas, great for gifts or for recording your holidays with friends, family, or just you and your pets. Take care. Have an amazing rest of your night. Okay, guys, there are the swatches. Those are just colored pencils. They are so creamy and smooth going on. All of the different colors are beautiful. Totally worth the sale price. Totally worth it. And then these are the tempera paints, the big paint crayons, basically. That's what they feel like. But it's paint, and look at these gorgeous colors. Look at that. These are going to be fun to use outside, doing stuff real loose on big canvases. Yep. Both of them, good purchases. See you later.